Knights at the Round Table, a round-table discussion on speculative fiction books and film. Hi everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Knights at the Round Table. Today we are discussing the 13, wow, film Pacific Rim. I am sitting at the table with Eric and with Sue, and I'm going to start with general impressions of the film. Sue.
Of course you would do this. My first introduction to this film was through the strangest means. I regularly follow a podcast about video gaming, and some of the contributors to that video game podcast were asked to do a sort of promo video for Pacific Rim. And it included a ton of other YouTubers that I also happen to know. And it was because of that I became interested in this. But then what really sold this idea of going to this movie was the fact that they put the voice of GLaDOS from the Portal 2 series in, and I was super happy with that, and I'm like, okay, so I knew nothing about this movie before, but now I'm going to see it, and that's how that ended up happening.
And how did you think?
I enjoyed it. It was great fun. It's not a thinker. Not a thinker.
Yeah, Eric?
I saw it when it came out in theaters and absolutely loved it. GLaDOS, Idris Elba, Benicio del Toro.
Exactly.
Oh, giant robots and monsters. It was right up my alley. And I loved it then. I rewatched it last night. And it doesn't hold up as well as I wish it did.
Yeah.
Okay. I also watched this in the cinema. And with my dad, because he's my action movie buddy. Mm-hmm. And I loved it in the cinema. I mean, it's robots versus monsters. What could you not love about it? But I agree, it is not a thinker. I was watching it again last night, and it makes a great background movie for doing something else, because you don't really have to pay attention until the fight scenes come on. There are a couple of really badass shots in there that just made me so happy. Like, my little action movie heart was just going, yeah! Yeah! Mm-hmm. Also, and the dragging of the ship.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, just dragging the ship by. Yeah,
right
like,
in the face.
This is great!
I mean, they didn't need to. They had swords. Let's not go there.
No. Yeah, whatever. To use what is at hand, question mark?
Well, they were in the water before.
You never use your ultimate weapon until the absolute last possible moment. That's an anime and a robot trope.
It's weird that the ultimate weapon is a sword and not the plasma cannon, but okay!
It's a chain sword.
It's a chain sword. It was a pretty cool sword. Yeah, I loved this movie. It's for dumb fun. Don't think about it too much. Although there is one thing about the movie that I particularly loved that most people would probably hate.
Interesting.
Yeah. Shall I just jump in?
Yes.
Go ahead.
The two lead actors, Charlie Hunnam and the girl who played Mako. I can't remember her name. I did look it up.
So did I.
They had absolutely no sexual chemistry between them, and I was here for it. I loved it. Thank God, finally a movie where a man and a woman could be partners together in a fight and not be romantically entangled. Even at the end, they could have gone in for the kiss. Nope. Just forehead touching and a hug. Because that's friendship, and I am here for it. I loved it so much, and I've heard people use this as a complaint, but I liked it.
That's weird. I liked that element too. I liked that they sort of give a nod to the fact that when you're in somebody's head for any amount of time, you really get to know the person and what they expect and what they want out of life. And even just because you're doing this for combat and to survive. But, like, I liked the fact that they weren't romantically involved at all. It was just, they had mutual respect for each other.
Yes. And it started right at the beginning, just before when they first met, I think. And then as soon as the fight ended, Charlie Hunnam's character, whose name I forget now. I left my notes at her.
Cardboard.
Rayleigh.
Just call him Cardboard.
Cardboard, yeah. Rayleigh Buckley? Something?
I have it down somewhere.
Whatever. That dude. Blonde guy. King Arthur. That one. Charlie Hunnam.
We're looking for his character's
We're
name.
looking for his character's name.
It's okay, it doesn't
Raleigh
matter.
something. Doesn't matter. Anyway, point is, after that fight, he's like, yeah, this chick, she's the one. Not the one as in my lady love, but it's the one that I will fight with.
I will drift.
I would disagree completely with you.
Really?
Why?
Yeah, there were instances and shots throughout the entire movie hinting at a romantic tension between the two. That was not there because they had none. Yeah. But her staring at his shirtless body through the window and blushing, and then her giggling and running away like a bad anime and stuff like that.
See, her looking through the window, it was not because he's in fine form, which, yeah, he was, but because he was scarred to hell from the fight with the kaiju.
Yeah, and if they had...
That's exactly what I took
they
that
had zoomed
as.
in on the scars as opposed to zooming out on him...
Oh, that was just for us.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I mean, that was totally shot for me.
But
we don't get this often, okay? Calm down.
I have no issues with showing him completely naked. But when it's shown from her point of view in a sexual manner, it hints that she is attracted to him.
I didn't find that sexual viewing at all. It was the scars that made me think.
Like, what's the story behind that?
Throughout that, even at the beginning when she talked to him and got starstruck, throughout that up until they actually
starstruck?
When she first met him, she stumbled over her words. And
but that's because she realized he understood Japanese.
Yeah.
And she was being pretty derisive.
Yeah, that's true. But until pretty much they combined into the mind meld thing, it felt like they were trying to go for a relationship feel, and then it just stopped. And I was like, okay, good. Now it's stopped. We don't have to deal with that. You have to give way for these Star Trek 1 style huge ass special effects scenes.
Yeah.
Which are gorgeous.
See, I agree with you slightly in that maybe they wanted to keep the romance option
They shouldn't have.
They shouldn't have. And it didn't feel like that to me at all, mostly because between the two actors, I guess
okay, but that man has about as much charisma or acting skill as that book there.
I would disagree.
He is
Have you seen
bland imitation of Australian actors.
Have you seen Sons of Anarchy?
No, but he was very good in that.
Yes, he was.
But in the two movies that I've seen him recently, King Arthur and this, he basically plays a knockoff Hemsworth.
No.
Burly, blondish.
Burly. He's not burly.
Okay, chiseled. How would you call a guy who you can see all his muscles?
Fit AF.
Suddenly, we're going to have a romance released by Éric.
Yeah, that's probably not going to work.
It would be funny.
So, yeah, okay. I kind of see where you're coming from, but I would disagree.
I'm very bad at that.
At the tension?
Writing tension.
Oh.
Writing sexual tension is just not my thing.
Oh.
I get angry at myself.
Oh.
Just kiss already! I literally yelled that while writing my first book. And then wait, I'm writing this. And I did it.
I actually find myself yelling, dribble!
So, okay.
Yeah,
I'm glad they didn't go for it.
Yeah, no,
I
I'm
wish
super
there
glad they
had
didn't
been
go
a
for
little
it.
bit of weird hints.
Yeah, I think those hints could be read two ways, and I think just because of the way that I was viewing it,
Maybe
didn't hint at romance between the two at all. Respect, yes.
Definitely, there was he never objectified her, which is a really nice change in movies where there's a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, it's first thinking with his penis, then realizing she's competent, as opposed to
yeah, he almost recognized her competence immediately.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is super nice, and he was on her side.
Didn't question her.
No.
Men often, like in movies, oh, you got a 51. Oh, did you cheat? Or oh, really? Are you sure they didn't just tell you that?
51
He's like,
drops,
no,
51
51.
kills.
Wow.
He's like, yeah, wow. Why aren't you in the Jaeger?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I like how he deliberately tried to prove it to Pentecost, because Pentecost was the one that was really sort of holding her back.
Yeah, not because he didn't think she was good enough.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Daughter-father relationship.
Absolutely. But I liked how Riley, turned around and was like, no, you come into the ring. I want to see, your skill and form. And it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I love that.
That fight scene was great. The martial arts choreography made me happy. I have no complaints about that, as
Made
I do
me a
in
little
a
sad.
lot of
that there wasn't more of it.
Oh, okay. We're like, Jesus, man. Hate everything.
I hate everything. No, I would have liked to have seen more.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen more of them training or sparring or something,
Yeah.
because that was really good. The martial arts choreography, I can't fault the martial arts
I
choreography.
would
in that.
also have liked their fighting style to transition a little bit more to their
Yeah,
mech.
yeah, really.
Yeah.
It's like Asian style martial arts, and then suddenly they're
And then-
boxing like a Russian wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
boxing
did
like a
seem
Russian wrestler. Okay, so not well is the standard.
No, very well, just very strange, like all hitting and grappling. Have you never played Street Fighter? There's the big Russian dude who fights like a bear.
But the
Yes, Zangief.
Why am I
wrestlers generally, as a rule, don't
Wreck-It
train
Ralph.
in boxing.
maybe?
I would have liked the fighting style to transition.
Yes, I would have liked the fighting style transition. It's true when they got into the mech, suddenly they were just basically drunk and brawling.
And I think that could have been done better with another director. No offense to Del Toro, but when it comes to CGI, he lets the CGI go. He's better if they have makeup, because he rarely uses motion capture.
Yeah.
And I think if you had brought in his favorite actor,
Doug Jones?
Doug Jones, to motion capture some of the monsters, or robots, it would have looked better.
Yeah, maybe. I do like how the robots moved, though. They felt weighty.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of robot movies, when you watch it, you feel like you're watching someone in a bathtub with a transformer.
Yeah.
You felt the size.
Yeah,
the
you
feel.
felt the size
You
and the
heard
weight of them.
the music and the gears and
Yeah.
everything. It was
And the words. So yeah, I tried to combine creak and groan into one word, and it didn't work. The groan of metal. Groan.
I both love and hate this movie. Mm-hmm. Mostly I love it because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's robots, it's monsters, and the special effects hold up.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's Del Toro, and I expect more from him.
Yeah, after Pan's Labyrinth, I recognize the color palette he used in this movie, because he very much
loves that
favors
color,
that sort of darker,
bluish,
grittier
grayish.
color palette. And this movie might have worked better with a slightly brighter color palette.
I worry that would look toyish.
Well, yeah, it's a toyish movie.
Yeah, but
It's giant robots.
you
Thank
want them
you.
to look like giant robots, not
Yeah.
like toys.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right, it might have been a little bit more colorful.
Yeah,
But
it could have been. It could have.
He always adds so many layers of themes and so on, and it feels like he got lost in the special effects.
Oh,
Like
I
there
think
were so many amazing, huge scenes that
think-
were just the robots.
Yeah, I think it's because it's literally a much simpler story than what
Yeah.
we're used to him telling.
Exactly.
It's literally.
But you can have giant robots fighting monsters and have a cool, complex storyline.
But but this wasn't that.
Yeah, but you don't need that for this, I would argue.
But I would want it. It makes rewatchability.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I would agree,
maybe.
because the whole time that I watched this, one of the things that just drove me a little batty was the fact that I kept comparing it to Uprising and the things that they've like tied into. I'm not going to explain.
Yet seen Uprising.
I'm not going to explain like why, but there were so many
Uprising?
moments.
It's the second
sequel.
movie. Pacific Rim Uprising.
I haven't seen the second movie. It's
That's-
not by
that's fine.
him, is it?
No, different
No.
director.
Yeah.
I think he was producing though. If
It's
I
got
remember.
Boyega in it, so I want to see it.
Yeah.
It's good. I just mean like it kind of took away because I kept like thinking about like, oh, I know what you did there, and oh, that's a thing too, and it felt like I love Pacific Rim, the first one, so much, but at the same time it also really falls flat in comparison, and the whole time
that's
I was
great.
like conflicted.
Yeah.
That's great. I want my movie sequels to go up.
So I really enjoyed the imagery of this film. What were we talking about before the break? You were.
I was complaining about something.
All
Oh, the
the
depth,
complaining.
lack of.
Oh,
And
lack
how
of narrative
it basically
depth.
killed rewatchability.
Oh, really?
Like, it's a movie that I'll watch if I'm sick or not paying attention, because
Oh, okay.
the music is gorgeous.
The music is beautiful.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the music in this is one of the first things I noticed. I'm like, oh, this music
Yeah.
is amazing. And then it reminded me, not in tone or style, but it reminded me of how much I love the music from the Transformers films. That music is also absolutely beautiful.
I don't remember it.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Wow.
I just get too angry with the Transformers films. You've got good guys and bad guys. Don't put them all gunmetal gray. The only one I could tell who he was Bumblebee
Yeah, because he's...
and Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, so yeah, beautiful music. The score in this is absolutely gorgeous. I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the sound effects are perfectly
yes.
done.
Brilliant.
They really give you a sense of feel and size.
They help,
And
yeah,
if
they're
you've
quite
ever
immersive.
worked with large machinery or been around large machinery, so
Or
anywhere.
like on a boat that creaks. Like,
You
not a wooden
hear-
boat. You hear.
Yeah, you hear the feeling. Like I was transported back to when I worked on the boat, on a canal boat, and the feeling of the rumbling under me
Yeah.
of diesel engines is just really, really well done. And that speech is so quotable.
Elba's
The
speech.
apocalypse is
Today
Oh,
we are
yes.
cancelling the apocalypse.
I mean,
And
Idris Elba could read a phone book, and it would be fantastic.
yes, that man. My God.
Talk about the name. The most ridiculous name in...
Oh, Marshall Pentecost.
Isn't it Stacker Pentecost?
Stacker,
Pentecost.
yes.
Stacker Pentecost. That's
Yeah.
not a name that
It's-
anyone's ever had.
That
It's-
basically
it's
is
such
a short word for military McMilitary.
Yeah, it's a wonderfully camp sort of pulp name. I enjoyed it.
The minute you
Stacker
heard it, you were like,
Pentecost.
"Oh, he's the military guy."
He's the military guy.
I love that his suit was almost the same color as his uniform. It was the same shade of blue, and he wore it the same way. That
Yeah.
you're like, "Wait, he's not in uniform."
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I also really love the father-son duo, the Australian dudes.
Yes.
Douche Canoe and his father.
Yeah, Douche Canoe
Yes.
and his lovely father. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because Douche Canoe was being a douche canoe, and I'm like, yeah, that figures. That's accurate. Yep. Been there.
I've met like 3
Recognize this?
Australians in my life, and you're one of them. So I don't know.
But his dad was an awesome human being,
Agreed.
and the ending broke my heart a bit.
Yes.
The
For his
actors in
sake.
this were so fantastic, except for Charlie Hunnam, who phoned it in. I mean,
I mean,
GLaDOS was better.
You can only do so much with the script you're given with, and it's again
And
summer
these actors
blockbuster
did
movie.
some amazing things with
Some
it.
of them did, yeah.
Like you
Yes.
genuinely felt for the Australian boy. Like he went from complete, I don't know, traditional YA villain to poor guy. We know he's gonna die now.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
that
I actually feel bad for him.
that tearful goodbye
Shot a
with
sad
his father.
dog.
Yeah.
showed more
Also,
emotion.
the thing where the EMP, the kaiju let off the EMP, and his
Yes.
dad's like, now either we could just sit here or we could take these flare guns and do something really stupid. I'm like, yeah, that sounds Australian to me. Yep. Correct.
Yeah.
Accurate.
Great shots too.
Oh,
They got
were
him
they
in an
like right
eye.
in the eye?
Yeah.
And this movie is how old now? When did it come out?
2013. So it's
So 5 years old. The special effects are really good for a 5-year-old movie. Because that was the time period where they sort of forgot that practical effects existed. So they didn't meld the two. So a lot of movies then sort of looked
They look dated.
dated.
Yeah.
But this did a really good job. And it could have been because of the dark color palette.
Maybe.
It might have hid a lot of the imperfections of the CGI.
Maybe.
It's true.
Yeah. I still think it could have done with a bit of a look of brightness.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
The robots should have had like a color boom punch.
Or something.
Not
Yeah.
a punching color. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
what you meant.
Something that I thought was funny, because I watched it with my mother-in-law, who... She loves action movies. She's a Bond fan, but she is not a giant robots fan.
Okay.
Didn't like Transformers, didn't like
I mean, though.
most of the others. And she kept asking me, why did they do this and not this? What happened, like, when Pentecost is all like, suit up. And he comes out, and she's like, why is he suiting up? They had 15 candidates for the other guy. They can't throw one of them at him.
That's
Why does he have to
fantastic.
kill himself?
Well, he's already dying.
And
Yeah.
when the sword came out, she's like, why did they use that on the ground?
I know! Right? Yes.
And I was like, that's just the tropes of
Yeah.
that kind of movie.
Movie.
And it really is a love letter to Godzilla and
exactly.
the old
All-
monster
all
movies.
monsters and robots fighting each other
Yeah.
from Guillermo del Toro's childhood, which, you know, he stated as much in an interview, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he did a good job
and
of
it did a
right?
good job, but there's so much more that could be done with it.
Yes. I don't know. For
I
robots punching monsters is pretty much all you need for.
Yeah, I think
like
that's
you
what they
said,
were
the
trying to
sequel
go for. Yeah, like
expanded and improved.
Yes,
and that's what I
it
wanted
did.
to see.
And
I
we're
was
gonna have a
worried
good time
because
with
they had canceled the sequel when this came out.
Yeah, but thank you, China, by the way, because the Pacific Rim did monsterly well in China. Like, so much money overseas that
you've been around him too long.
they.
Monster.
Oh.
You punned without knowing.
No! No, my life is over! It did really, really well overseas, which is why it got its sequel, and I'm really glad because I really like this first movie, and I cannot wait to get my hands on the second one.
It's a good beginning.
Yeah, it's a good beginning.
It is, yeah.
I mean, for 2013 too, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, the dark times.
Dark times.
2013.
No, I
Actually, I have no idea what else came out that year. I'm assuming a Hobbit movie.
probably a Hobbit.
Iron Man
movie.
3.
Oh, dark times indeed. Oh no, Iron Man 3.
Iron Man
Sorry,
3,
2 is
yeah.
one I hate.
Hunger Games 2.
The Hunger Games were the Hunger Games.
Well, yeah.
That was the
Hunger
biggest
Games.
movie of the year.
Glad someone remembers these things.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't remember what I did yesterday.
No, I can't remember.
Oh my
what
god,
I
what
did
are we
this
doing? Where am I?
What realm is
Who
this?
am I?
Don't worry, Eric. Google will know.
Oh, here.
Okay.
This will put it right in perspective. Man of Steel.
I mean, Pacific
The
Rim
Dark
beats
Times,
it.
right?
Well, okay. Yay. Awesome rant about to come. Not really awesome,
Okay.
just annoying. Pacific Rim has huge sections of battle.
Yeah.
At no point do you get bored.
Yes,
Every
that's true.
battle tells a story.
Yes.
Like a mini, short story, one end to the other. There's not a point where you're like, oh, great, they're going to keep punching themselves into mountains for a couple of hours. I can go big popcorn.
Yeah.
Everything was interesting, and it was punctuated by shots, like you were saying, the little tick, tick, punches
Yes.
through a building and then stops.
And it hits the little Newton balls and it tick, 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 tick,
And
the
it's
office toy.
those kinds of tiny details in an action movie that are important
Yeah.
and that stop battle fatigue,
Yeah.
which is a different thing in
Well,
actual
also,
battle.
although-
the battles didn't last too long either.
That's true.
But they lasted longer than you think they did.
Yeah.
I timed one at 10-15 minutes,
Yeah, okay.
which is fine. I have no problem with long battles as long as they're interesting.
As long as they're... And
Exactly.
it's important that the battles tell a narrative too, which these ones did, which was nice.
Also like the cutting. It cut from robot to person. So it was never just hearing the people speak over the robots
action's
fighting.
happening.
You actually got to see them moving, and it's a really cool sci-fi premise.
Yeah, I loved the idea that the kaiju were actually all just clones being sent by some master race.
I meant the brain
Oh, the
control
the
thing
drift?
of robot. Yeah, the drift.
Yeah.
But
It is
yes,
a neat idea. I also really like the idea of the masters
invading from an
invading
alternative.
from an alternate dimension, and the way they invade is basically they're just going to send out waves of these cloned creatures until everybody's dead.
Did they say at the beginning? No, in the middle, after the guy drifted the first time with the kaiju. Did he say that the dinosaurs were kaiju?
Yes, the dinosaurs
Yes.
were kaiju.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. But then the atmosphere wasn't great
Great
for them.
yes,
And
because it
then
wasn't polluted enough.
yeah, we came along and basically terraformed the planet
Okay.
into pollution heaven.
One thing that I find really funny, and nobody brings it up in the movie, and this movie could have used a genre-savvy character who was smart alecky, because they exploded the void, the thing, whatever. Woo. Because an extremely powerful ancient civilization that can wait from dinosaur times to now can never open another one.
Well, I mean, they were all the way through the portal, and when it detonated, so the
Well, yeah,
good
they blew
number
up
of them
they
were
blew up a part of them.
were exploded.
But I mean, we've exploded a whole bunch of nuclear bombs on our planet, and
I mean, that's true. Yeah.
we're still here.
Yes.
It's just that's when I was like, well, at least there's going to be a sequel.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Very true. Yeah. Was
I like that they didn't kill off the two main people at
Oh,
the
yeah.
end,
Yeah.
even though they're not in the sequel. Well, one is, but one isn't.
Yeah. One is and one
Mr.
isn't.
Hunnam was busy.
Yeah.
filming something else.
Probably King Arthur. I actually like that movie. I have gripes.
I like the action. I hate the politics.
Oh, right, fair enough.
It's way too much. I want a silly action movie, which is what I wanted in that one, with a little bit of heart. And this was just like politics, politics, politics. Ooh, politics, politics, politics. Ooh, look at us. We have pretty scenery.
And back to Pacific Rim.
Yes, back to Pacific Rim. I'm sorry. Easily distracted. Pacific Rim? Yes. You had questions?
I've forgotten it. It's okay. You got distracted and that distracted me.
I really liked that Hannibal comically got eaten.
Oh, yeah! By little baby!
That was hilarious.
Did you watch the end scene?
Oh,
Where
absolutely.
he cut his way
of course.
out?
I did.
Where is my shoe?
Which bugged me so much. I mean, it was funny, and I liked it as a joke,
Yeah.
but they stated that the insides of those things were acidic.
Yeah, so he should have been like a pile of goo.
Although he's
Also,
an old boy, so he's fine.
He got chomped quite a bit, so he should also be a mangled pile of goo.
Exactly. But also, they had mentioned something about, I think it was one of the trivia bits where they melted down the metal on the shoe. I'm not exactly sure what that was about, but yeah, it seems very disconnected if you're going to be chomped and melted by acid.
If you're going to
its
make
blood
rules,
is acidic. What's its stomach like?
Yeah,
exactly.
If you're
Turns
going
out
to
it's
make-
just a pH of 7.
Yeah. Right. If you're going to
Safest
make
way.
rules in your world, please stick to them.
Yes.
Please. Please.
I like the subtle jab at
Consistency.
politics, where
Yeah.
well, you're too expensive and you're not cool anymore, so wall.
And
Yeah,
then the
I
wall
liked
gets
how
busted
the
through.
wall was useless.
We are fairly confident that the wall will meet our needs, and I'm like, wall?
Like,
It took a giant robot to destroy these things, and you built a wall? An impressive wall. But a wall?
Exactly. It's not
nope.
brilliant.
Nope. And then I do like that
But
they
it's so
had to
political, like
recommission.
it fits our politics now.
It
Yeah,
does.
no, it
where
does.
people make stupid decisions for stupid reasons.
Yes.
I do
Yeah,
like
I
that
do.
they had to use a decommissioned Jaeger to
Yes.
go after the kaiju that broke through the wall in Sydney, which is what those two Aussies were.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to, like, get funding from, like, smugglers and black market people in order to even have those 4.
Those 4 Jaegers. Yeah. I liked that,
I
actually.
like
liked
that
how
they did that.
Pentecost was like, no, this is stupid.
We are going to
We are
keep
going to
doing
do
it.
this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because they
exactly.
did.
Yeah.
It would have been a really bad movie without any...
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I like it when there are characters that go renegade to do what's right. It makes me happy.
What?
Yeah.
It's like one of the most overused tropes, and it's so lovely. I love it.
I still love it.
The rogues with the heart of gold
Yeah.
are doing the right thing.
Doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do, rather
Han
than
Solo,
following
Firefly, this.
orders. Well, I mean, in Firefly, smuggling was not the right
Okay,
thing to
Serenity, then.
do. Okay, yes, that's better. Alright, gotcha. Okay,
Excellent.
so final thoughts and star rating.
I'm gonna pitch one
Oh,
trivia
one more thing? Yes.
One trivia thing.
I love these trivia things.
I
Me too.
did not know that many countries after this movie, including Canada, have built their own Jaegers.
Yes, there's a huge competition between Japan and the USA right now.
I
So who's
had
going to
no
win?
idea until
Yeah.
I read that. I was
They're
like,
not actual full size, but
No, no.
they go about 10, 15 feet.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
2
piloted.
people piloted, yeah.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
The Japanese have always been building them
Oh,
both as
yeah.
recreational.
Well, that's what you expect, right?
But the
I was
Americans and the Japanese are
expecting-
supposed to, or have fought. I think they fought. and
Have they fought already?
They need a rematch because the American one was like downed in 10 seconds.
Damn.
Well,
Send me
it
this
concentrated on.
information.
It's an actual military vehicle, so
Yeah.
concentrated on ranged ammunition,
Oh.
while the other one concentrated on hand to hand and speed.
Mm.
And,
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's your typical
it's
fight, right?
interesting.
Which wins? Like, strength or speed?
Yeah.
Speed most of the
Speed
time.
most of the time, yes, exactly.
Speaking as someone who's slow and strong, speed most of the time.
Speed most of the time, that's
Technique all the time.
right. Yeah. Alright, final thoughts and star rating, Eric.
This is a fun movie. I own it, and I forgot to bring it down to put it on this. Darn.
Yeah, I didn't bring that. I
That's
thought
fine.
you
It's
had
upstairs
yours.
on the table too.
Oh, it's okay.
Anyway, I like it. I own it. I will rewatch it probably when I'm sick and stuff. But it's not a fantastic thinking movie, and it's just on the edge, just waiting for it to jump those 300 meters, you know, into the
Jump the
chasm.
Not into the sky.
I'm making a joke about when
Yes,
they're on
yes,
the cliff.
no, I know,
Okay,
I
you're
know.
ignoring me. Anyway, so yeah, I liked it, but I'm still only going to give it a 3.
No, okay, fair enough.
Okay. Again, because I had such this weird disconnect of comparing the two movies and like what they included and all the little things, which will make sense later. I still love this movie. I own it as well, and I've watched it a number of times. But at the same time, rewatching it again because of these panels, I'm sitting there going, this doesn't quite hold up as well as I wanted it to, and I'll give it a 3.5. I mean, 4 for enjoyment, but 3.5 overall, just because like I wanted so much more, and then when I watched it again, I'm like, okay, I have to be fair somehow.
Alright, I really enjoyed this movie. There are a lot of fantastic shots. Two of my favourite things would be the Jaeger Gypsy, what was it called?
Gypsy Danger?
Gypsy Danger, dragging a ship behind it to go fight a kaiju. That is just such a brilliant image in my head, and I love it to pieces. And I really, really loved that the two leads were male and female, and were really good friends, and totally in sync, and not romantically involved. Thank you. 3.5 for me, because I really enjoyed the film. Watching it again last night, I really enjoyed the film. It was great.
I'm wondering if I'm reading too much into it, but none of the pairs were in any kind of romantic relationship.
No,
I mean...
So I wonder if that's a commentary on relationships. from the
Maybe,
writer-directors.
because originally the two pilots of Gypsy Danger were brothers.
Mhm.
The
triplets.
Chinese, the triplets, and then the
Russians were
Russian were
brother,
brother
sister.
sister. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Father-son for the
father
other
son.
one.
Yep. Great. Okay. Do you want to pick the next one?
Sure.
Do it.
I forgot about that part.
So do I. Don't worry.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yay! So that'll be the next film that we're reviewing. Monty Python and the Holy Grail, one of the most quotable films of all time. If you have any comments or questions or things about Pacific Rim and any of our points that need clarification, leave them down in the comments below. I sometimes lurk. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Bye!
Yeah, well, I was hoping they negotiate.
We do not negotiate with terrorists.